They chillin' in Alaska, swimming in Atlanta, vultures out in Baltimore, they Kira, Carolina, they wildin' in Chicago, howlin' down in Big D, mile high in Denver, that Tallahassee pride is deep, they lunchin' in Vancouver, Desperados shootin', the renegades on the loose, the hyenas lootin', gold out in QC, who higher than them sparrows, the fury swooping in divine order for the pharaohs, Indy on the rise, the sharks about to mash, gladiators, knights and Aztecs about to clash. Welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see the all-pro party. And welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see an all-pro party. First and 10, I'm so aggressive. The end zone, the game plan, no pressure. They gotta pay me how they measure me. You know these haters on my back like the referee. You know I'm in it to win it. Gang, I'm about my business, I gotta get it. So I'm all about my ends. And these non-stop wins. They can't touch us. We turning up on these suckers. You know the D brought the ruckus. Cause we tighter than the huddles. Welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see the all-pro party. And welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see an all-pro party. Yeah. Third down is going down. Round and pound, oh, we gotta air them out. That's why I gotta hit the route. Hit the flat if I catch it, then I'm out. Fourth and inches gotta taste. YOLO, just no pump fake. So tighten up and hit the power high. The audible and draw them off sides.
Ryan Michaels gets a block midfield. Ryan Michaels, he could be gone. Trying to be comfortable behind, he will not. Touchdown, Houston.
Welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see the all-pro party. And welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see an all-pro party.
Yola shakes it. Oh my goodness, and Yola gets away. Jay Yola on the first play for Tallahassee is going to score again. Left side, Odom gets away. Odom breaks another tackle. Ash Odom, you've got to be kidding me. Big chase, 10-5 touchdown. Oh my word.
Tonight, the 13th meeting between Tim Johnson's Baltimore Vultures and Eric Barkley's Queen City Corsairs. Two teams at the top of the Eastern Conference fighting for playoff positioning, and many teams around the SFL hoping that somebody loses. Well, you're in luck, because someone's going to lose tonight, but someone is also going to get a very, very critical victory. Who's it going to be? We find out next on the SFL Network on Twitch TV. Alongside Scott LaRue on stats, Stephen Mullinex, I am Cameron Irvine. Stephen, how you doing tonight?
Doing wonderful, Cam. Can't wait to see this matchup here of these two SFL Titans. They met previously back in Week 3 with Baltimore coming out on top of Queen City 17-10. Baltimore's defense did a great job of holding A.J. Caswell in check. 3 interceptions, no touchdowns in that matchup. They also held Ash Odom, the great SFL running back, to just 3.2 yards per carry. Mike Dazzo went 400 yards through the air when these two teams last met. And since that Week 3 matchup, both teams have only lost one game. Baltimore 4-1, Queen City 5-1 since that matchup. Should be a great one tonight.
As you get a look at the lineups, Queen City at home, of course, the Corsairs helped the Baltimore Vultures open up their home schedule way back in that meeting, and now Queen City hoping to return the favor as A.J. Caswell shakes the hands of Garen Money Malone, and he will call the coin toss.
Give us tails.
Baltimore wins the toss. They'll choose to defer, and that will put A.J. Caswell and the Queen City offense on the field first. It's SFL Fan Night Week 10 edition. Excited to be back with you. This is going to be a fun one tonight. Baltimore Vultures kicker Shark Tarkington has the ball on the tee, the hand in the air. Vultures kick it. We're underway. From the 6, Kalu up to the 25-yard line. No, I tell you what, Steven, it's old for me, but no one will ever get tired of me calling them the Crabs, so I have to slip a half one in there every now and again.
And who would blame you? I mean, for so many seasons and years, they were the Crabs. So getting used to this new team name, but seeing these old colors, still reminds you of those Crab days.
Well, the Vultures start in a 3-2 look, and Caswell's going to go empty as A.J. Caswell will start the game with a pass. And outside, far side, caught by Dupree Hudson for a pickup of 6 yards. The Queen City offense, Ash Odom is the running back, 22, in his third season. Previously with Alaska, A.J. Caswell, the quarterback, number 16. The receivers, number 80, Dupree Hudson, the 33rd pick in the draft. Number 84, Chris Curtis, is also split out wide for the guys in black and green. 2 in the backfield for Caswell, 2nd and 4 at the 32. And the handoff goes to Odom, and Ash Odom is going to lose 2 yards, taken down by Amon Takes in the backfield, the second-round pick, or the number 2 pick of the first round, rather.
Yeah, number 2 pick overall, and one of the most sure tacklers here in the SFL. But for Queen City, that's their favorite run play. You just witnessed it. That strong power O with that pulling guard. They love to run that, and Baltimore's defense all over.
Handoff Odom on 3rd down and long, and that got nothing. Takes again on the stop, along with Joe Dazzo, and it'll bring up a 4th down and 5, a 3-and-out for Queen City as Baltimore, who has won 7 of those previous 12 meetings, gets Queen City off the field.
Well, running on 3rd down is no surprise, as the Corsairs have the number 1 running offense in the SFL, averaging nearly 200 yards on the ground a game, but just couldn't convert there on that rather long 3rd down.
From the 33-yard line, this is Kaz McFly on the return. Started returning kicks for the Vultures a couple of weeks ago, and he plays corner, obviously the lead corner, the no McFly zone for the Vultures.
Yeah, and making a name for himself despite joining this team in week 3 of the season. Yeah, he's got 4 interceptions, but he's also got double-digit pass defense, 10 already this season.
9:32 to go in the first. Fan Night presented by APM Music here on Twitch, and the handoff goes to T. Roy Gaines, and Gaines gets nothing, although it took forever for the Corsairs to put him down. Eventually, Jenkins and Nacho Sicario with the tackle.
Yeah, Gaines, the last time we saw him together, Cam, as a commentary team, he ran really well, and I thought the Baltimore should have run him absolutely more in that game. But T-Roy Gaines, 740 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns so far this season, but really is a threat out of the backfield as a receiver.
Dazzo will flip it out to Gaines. Oh, and Gaines gets decleated by Zane Doty on the far side. Only a 3-yard pickup and a heavy hit from Doty out of the slot.
Well, Queen City's defensive coordinator doing a good job of preparing this defense for that, those kind of swing and screen passes out of the backfield. That is Gaines' 60th reception on the season. He's Baltimore's leading receiver.
3rd and 7. Dazzo's pass is caught, but no gain, or little gain. Mike Montgomery with a 4-yard pickup, then takes a bump. So both teams start the game with 3 and outs in the defenses, which combined to only give up 36 points in their first meeting, off to a hot start.
Yeah, surprised they're not looking toward Carroll or Malone there. Those two receivers had a combined 15 receptions for 264 yards and 2 touchdowns in their previous win against Queen City.
From the 20 on the return, Kalu for the Corsairs. So back out on the field comes the Baltimore defense, led by corners on the outside, Kaz McFly and Hendricks Wild Thornberry. They're both rookies. McFly signing in week 3. Tony Willis, the champion from Alaska, number 31 at strong safety. Giovanni Bolt, who has really been hot, number 41 at free safety. The linebackers are Dazzo and Takes. You saw their efforts on the previous drive. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line, and Caswell will start again with a pass. This time going deep middle. Caught. 1st down. Curtis to the 37-yard line. Chris Curtis in his 3rd season.
Yeah, good job there by Caswell, having the patience to let Curtis run his route, as you can see there in the pocket, despite it collapsing around him, waiting for Curtis to run in front of those 2 defenders and putting the ball in an area where Curtis has to actually reach towards the middle of the field to get the ball away from those defenders. So excellent ball placement there for the veteran Caswell.
T. Paternity with 100 bits. I'm F and Problem with 200 bits here early tonight. Appreciate your support of the SFL as we count down to the playoffs. The handoff goes to Ash Odom, and Ash Odom runs over a Vulture on his way to a 9-yard pickup to the Queen City 46.
Well, everybody in the SFL and who's been following this league for any amount of time knows the name Ash Odom. Number 2 in rushing yards in the SFL so far this season, 1,553 yards, and number 3 in yards per carry, averaging a whopping 6.3 yards per attempt.
6:58 to go in the first. 2 in the backfield, including a very good fullback, Diamante, here in Queen City. Odom not going to get much, pushed ahead, but the knee went down right at the line of scrimmage. Thornberry on the tackle brings up a critical 3rd down and 1 as both teams try to move the sticks for the first time.
Well, it should have actually probably been a loss of yardage there, but Odom's just really too good, and he's going to get you some yards. But Chris Curtis there just couldn't hold his block long enough to give Odom a chance to really be decisive and choose where he wanted to go. Probably should have bounced that one outside.
3rd down and 1 at the 46. Handoff again to Odom running right. Odom in some trouble. A lot of trouble, actually, as Tony Willis gets him for a 3-yard loss. And the Corsairs will have to punt it away again.
Well, Tony Willis, the Alaska Storm superstar that came over during the offseason, actually leads this defense in tackles, that being his 75th, and that one probably one of the better ones there for a loss.
Corsairs pump for the 2nd time in the quarter. 500 bits from Ron Cochran. Now at the top of the new week's leaderboards. Appreciate that, Ron. Here with 5:48 to go in the first quarter, let's meet the Baltimore Vultures offense. Mike Dazzo, 6th season, all with Baltimore's organization at quarterback number 7. The running back T. Roy Gaines, the 22nd pick and the 2nd pick of the 2nd round, or the 1st pick of the 2nd round, actually. Wide receivers, Garen Money Malone, number 18 on the outside. Shea Carroll, number 88. Daley Holder, number 87. Those 3 receivers have a combined 7 years of experience. 1st and 10 at the 25. Back to pass is Dazzo. Dazzo short of the middle, caught by Malone, but only a 3-yard pickup as Queen City holds it down.
And just a note here, Baltimore has never missed the playoffs with Dazzo under center. In their previous couple seasons prior to leaving the league, they had a guy by the name of Andrew Rostelli and another guy named Matt South under center for them. Neither one able to take them to the promised land of the postseason.
Dazzo going to be sacked, a 3-yard loss, first sack of the game for either team, as Tad Myers gets involved and is looking for a semi.
Yeah, there. It just seemed like that short drop by the quarterback just allowed the defense to really get on top of him quickly. When you make those short drops, you're really relying on that offensive line to hold up their guy. And if one gets penetration, it's curtain.
3rd down and 10. Dazzo, a sidearm throw to Carroll. That's short of a 1st down. So 4 possessions 4 3-and-outs. Good tackle on the outside by Jenkins. And thanks to Max Jackson for the Tier 1 sub, as we're working on continuing to roll out those Twitch partner benefits, and we're looking to do some big things with all of that coming up in the playoffs, which start October 10th. So Baltimore punts it away from the 31-yard line. Kalu, a little bit of space, but it closes quickly. Pickup of 3. Here's a look at the updated playoff picture. Tom Pepper 19 says, going to a frat meeting soon. Thought I'd pop in first. What kind of frat do you think Tom Pepper's involved in, Stephen?
I am not a frat guy, so I would assume one that has a bunch of parties and wears togas. That's all I know about really frat.
1st and 10 at the 34. Caswell on his 3rd possession of the night throws it outside, complete to Curtis, and that picks up 5 yards. Curtis with his 2nd catch.
Yeah, both teams running relatively conservative playbooks here on offense. As, the only one big play to actually stretch beyond the 10-yard mark was that Caswell to Curtis pass, and we really haven't seen either team go for anything past the 1st down marker yet, hoping that players just make plays in front of the stick.
Handoff to Odom, and Odom's going to lose more yards. Baltimore's all over this stretch run game. Alpha Sac Omega was Rastelli's response to Pepper's fraternity. That's pretty funny. And hey, despite there not being a 1st down in this 1st quarter, both quarterbacks have combined to throw 7 for 7 for 41 yards. So not an incompletion in this game either.
Yeah, I do think there was one 1st down with that Caswell to Curtis play. I think that was beyond the marker, but I may be mistaken.
Oh, you are right. That's a great point, Stephen, is that pass over the middle this time is caught by, that's the slot man, Jones Branch, but it is short of the 1st down. So you are right, Stephen. One move of the sticks for Queen City, but it didn't do much. And once again, the Corsairs will have to punt in between their 40 and midfield. And hey, Max Jackson, 10,800 bits. I'll see you in Vegas, baby, here in a couple of weeks as the SFL takes over Vegas and the Esports Business Summit. More details about the SFL's involvement in that summit will be released over the next couple of weeks, and Baltimore begins its 3rd possession at the 26.
Well, both of these teams playing really blanket defense, and you've seen these offenses turn to these role players instead of their star players in some instances, especially on 3rd down, just because I think these defenses are just playing so well on these star players that it's forcing both offenses to look for unconventional ways to move the ball.
2:56 to go in the 1st. Nothing out of Daley Holder so far. He's without a catch. That pass to the sideline is caught by Malone near side on their bench. Picks up 5 yards. And we've seen both teams go to the out route to pick up a handful here in the 1st.
Yeah, just really feeling each other out, Cam, to figure out, if they want to take those deep opportunities down the field. Clearly, though, neither one is moving the ball consistently. Each one trying to find their legs right now.
2nd and 5 at the 32. Dazzo to pass over the middle. Pass is complete, wide open for a 1st down to the 43-yard line. That was Ty Jordan at tight end, or was it? No, I stand corrected. Fullback Chad Morgan with the completion. Dazzo spreading it around.
Well, and this offense spreading out, their fullback to play as a wide receiver there, and running him out of a trip set to try and confuse the defense absolutely worked there.
1st down to the 43. Vultures to Malone, and 4 different Corsairs in the area, including James Budden. Let's meet the Corsairs defense. Zane Doty, who had that big hit on Gaines early, is the slot free safety. Achilles Frank plays deep, the 15th pick of the most recent draft. Cornerbacks Leroy Jenkins and Oscar Dunkley shutting it down. Both undrafted rookies that have been outstanding for this squad. Outside linebacker Avery King, number 44, and Jeff Duffy at defensive end, number 53, who just had that rush on Dazzo. Doty with another hit on the outside will bring up a 3rd down and long for the Vultures.
Well, the Vultures love to use Gaines as a receiving weapon out of the backfield. He's actually number 1 in the SFL for receiving touchdowns by a running back. He's got 3 so far this season. So as they get closer to the goal line, if they ever do, look for Gaines to be a possible threat out of the backfield as a receiver.
3rd and 10 at the 44. Pass is intercepted off the drop ball by Frank. Frank up to the Vulture 44-yard line, and Queen City takes advantage of a rare Vulture miscue.
Frank, 6, that'll be his 7th interception on the season there. Just one of those right place, right time. Coverage wasn't particularly great, but he was behind the receiver, but he just happened to get a gift off the bobbled reception. That's why it's so dangerous, Cam, when you're in those slant routes in the inside of the defense like that. Your receiver has to be sure-handed because bobbles will turn into turnovers.
1st and 10 at the 44, and the handoff goes to Odom, and Odom loses 2 in the backfield. So Queen City right now, Steven, they got a problem. Ash Odom can't get anything going. He's got 7 carries for -1 yards, thanks to Scott LaRue on stats for that.
Yeah, and give a lot of Baltimore's defense a lot of credit. You know, they appear to be putting Tony Willis and spotting him on Ash Odom. And anywhere Ash Odom goes, so does Tony Willis. And he's been making stops in the backfield.
Making the Corsairs one-dimensional. 2nd and 12 from the 46. Caswell's going to throw. Dumps it off short to Odom. And I like the creativity there by Queen City, getting him the ball in other ways. A 4-yard gain.
Yeah, and that's Odom's only 12th reception on the season. So they don't use him a lot of times as a receiver out of the backfield as they do on the other sides with Gaines in Baltimore. But certainly capable of making big plays as a receiver. They just don't turn to him much. They may have to tonight.
3rd down and 8 of the 42, and Caswell's going deep down the middle. It's intercepted by Bolt. Giovanni Bolt on the return. Look at Bolt go down the sideline. 1 man to beat. 20-10. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Unbelievable play by Bolt. His 10th interception of the season, Cam, leads the SFL in that category. And look, there's a reason why they call him Bolt, right? He's able to take off with that ball and outpace every one of the Queen City offensive players to get in the end zone. What a game-changing play by someone who should be considered for defensive MVP of this league.
And that, honestly, Steven, greatly helps Bolt's MVP chances because now he's got a defensive touchdown to his name. Unbelievable return, 75 yards. And got some blocks along the way. Tarkington's extra point is good, and a very loud Conpro field just got completely silent after that return. 7-0 Baltimore on top. During the pick six, 100 bits from Ronnie Nickens and Thomas Paternity for his boy, chanting MVP.
No doubt.
From the 7, Queen City trying to regather themselves, and really good play on special teams there. That was Dennis Isaac, defensive end. He's got some wheels. And Caswell starts again. That was the first interception for Caswell, and only the 3rd incompletion of the entire day. 2 of them have been interceptions. And for Caswell, that is pick number 19 on the year. Only 11 touchdowns. Scrambling around in the pocket, finds an open receiver to move the chains up to the 39-yard line. A 14-yard gain to Elgin Villanueva, and that ends the first quarter of play. And apparently also makes our system freeze up. We'll stay right here to start the second quarter. You're watching the SFL, presented by APM Music, only on Twitch TV.
Well, you know, not only are both of these offenses kind of struggling here early, Caswell personally struggling here. Now that makes, 4 interceptions this season so far to Baltimore that he's surrendered. He needs to just regather himself, and throwing it to Odom there on the outside for an easy 5 yards will help do that, gain some consistency, build up his confidence a little bit as we flash a little bit of the SFL convention. But look, this is what Baltimore's game plan clearly is they're going to stop Ash Odom from running the ball and force this game onto the shoulders of that man Caswell, who is a proven veteran in this league, an SFL champion. Let's see if he can rise to the occasion.
Caswell, deep drop back, now fires near side, caught in double coverage. That picks up first down to Brian Seek, and Caswell's also spreading the ball around, and Odom has more yards receiving than he does rushing tonight, and Baltimore's done a really stellar job here at the beginning of making Queen City one-dimensional.
Yeah, and one of the keys to doing that is really a star-studded linebacker core with, Joe Dazzo and Amon Takes. These guys can shut down a running game. As you see here, they're lined up both each on the outside, so anything that Odom looks there, they're going to be all over.
Caswell throws out to Curtis. That catches 6. Both receivers on both squads doing a good job of keeping their feet in on those out routes. We see that be problematic to a variety of teams in the SFL, but it's 2nd and 4 for Queen City trying to shake off that horrific pick 6.
Let's see if they can get Ash Odom going here a little bit more.
2nd down and 4 at the 40. They're going to try him again around the left side. He cuts it back, and Ash Odom almost got the first down all on his own. Tremendous adjustment to what Baltimore has been showing Odom here in the first half.
Yeah, Cam, it's all about the running back's vision there. Able to see there wasn't anything to the outside. That's where that play was designed, to go to the outside. So Odom quickly cuts it inside, finds a hole there between the guard and the center, and is able to push forward to make this 3rd and inches.
3rd down at the Vulture 36-yard line. 9:06 to go in the first half. Handoff Odom running left. Odom got a block. Key block late. Got the first down to the 25-yard line. An 11-yard gain. McFly and Bolt on the stop.
Oh, boy, that was razor close there, Cam. As Odom, if he would have just been a millimeter over to the right, he might have got caught up right there by number 47. Instead, he's able to break outside and use that speed to gain another first down.
Queen City trying to answer Giovanni Bolt's 10th interception and his pick 6. Now at the Vulture 25-yard line, 8:38 to go in the second quarter. Caswell will throw again. Caswell looking and throwing into traffic. Take says, "I got it!" And no official believed him as that falls incomplete.
Yeah, Curtis there just checking to see if he had both hands, because he had them both out there to catch the ball, but nothing happened. Yeah, that's usually a sure-handed receiver there, really by making that throw, which was a little bit of a safety valve throw there down the middle of the field. It was right in front of 2 defenders. Again, that's where it can be bobbled in that area and picked up for an interception easy.
Caswell, great pocket, and that pass is incomplete. Nobody really open. Hudson was the intended receiver, and Queen City doing a stellar job of keeping that pocket clean for Caswell. And Stephen, we've not seen AJ run yet tonight, and that's a pretty big part of his game.
Yeah, and he may be thinking that, they haven't had as much success in the running game as they normally have. Starting to get things picked up for sure, but may just feel like he needs to stay in the pocket and try to control what he can control as a passer instead of taking off and running.
3rd and 10, Caswell deep. Oh, it's caught at the 5-yard line. What a grab. 90 yards now for Caswell, the rookie Hudson, one of his biggest catches of the season.
Well, certainly wanting to get Hudson involved here, I really think he was just, looking him the whole way, looking him down the field the entire way, but for good reason. Hudson able to go and climb the ladder there, very Optimus climb-like, right? And get that ball and pluck it out of the air between a bunch of defenders.
4-4 look here out of Baltimore's defense. Caswell out of the gun. He's going to take off and run. And A.J. Caswell's got a touchdown. Untouched up the middle as Baltimore was showing pressure to the outside, trying to take away Odom, and Caswell calls his own number. What a statement drive for Queen City.
You called it, Cam. When is A.J. Caswell going to use those lethal legs of his and get a significant gain? Well, you got it right there. And what great vision by Caswell. I don't like the fact that he was holding the ball like a loaf of bread, but other than that, he did a great job of just following his blocks, determining that there was no one in the middle of the field that would allow him to get just a clean run right into the end zone. That's a veteran play right there.
Chat shoutouts: Tom Pepper 19, Direct 900, Jeff Duffy, BitW 4342K, Hendrix Thorne, TMG 82. Scroll up here just a bit. T Paternity, Achilles Frank, Clinton's in the house, Eric JDWA holding it down. As always, Ron Cochran. Many others. 7-7 after the made extra point. And Queen City, after throwing a pick six, goes down the field. Probably 9 or 10 plays, Stephen, didn't actually have an official count, but a stellar drive mixed with a little running and passing, and helps tie the game up.
Yeah, excellent response by the Queen City Corsairs offense after following that interception for a touchdown. And look, I really feel like that gives them an edge here because they've shown something on offense that Baltimore has yet to show, and plus Queen City is at home. And from what we talked about in this current generation of Baltimore meeting Queen City, they've lost. They're 0-3. Baltimore is coming into Queen City's house. So this is already an uphill battle for Baltimore, and the only points they've been able to score and generate have been on defense, as Daley Holder there makes a nice catch for 6 yards.
Yeah, the first two times the Vultures, then the Crabs came to face Eric Barkley, the Corsairs were the New York Knights. Baltimore lost both of those meetings, and then since then, the Crabs and now the Vultures have lost 3 consecutive here in Buffalo. Point being, the Baltimore Crabs and Vultures, led by Tim Johnston, have never won against Eric Barkley in Buffalo as Gaines picks up the first down.
Yeah, what a nice screen pass there by Gaines, but he could have had more yardage if he would have just been a little bit more patient and used his blockers who were all set up in front of him. He just got really greedy wanting that first down right now.
Well, they're going to get it out to him again, and Zane Doty is everywhere tonight. That is the third hit on a swing pass out to Gaines tonight as Frank is jawing with him. This is one of, if not the best rivalries in the SFL.
Yeah, certainly you can see the anger in that tackle there. Not just a simple hit, but really a shoulder charge into the receiver there. Just a good job by Doty and this defense.
Dazzo, deep ball caught by Carroll all the way down to the Queen City 32-yard line. So the first chance that we get to see Baltimore go deep, it's a completion to Shea.
Well, Carroll has only scored 2 touchdowns on the season, but one of those came against these Queen City Corsairs back in week 3. He recorded 8 receptions for 144 yards through the air, did Carroll. So expect to see a lot of big plays out of Carroll and Money Malone in this game, as would be witnessed in their last matchup.
And you had a note, Steven, as Dazzo's pass is incomplete. Holder got bumped off his route, but within 5 yards, no call. But you had a note, Steven, about Queen City's defense in terms of the lack of touchdowns they've been given up that was quite impressive, did you not?
Yeah, in the last 6 weeks, Queen City has given up only 4 offensive touchdowns total. The last time Queen City gave up more than 1 offensive touchdown in a game, it was July 29th against these Baltimore Crabs.
And they did it, I believe, in the fourth quarter. They gave up 2 of them. 2nd down and 10 for Dazzo. Out to Gaines. Gaines is in big trouble. Queen City all over the flats, as I think that was Doty again on the outside. And Queen City's defending the flats just about as good as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. They have scouted what Baltimore likes to do, and they know that running back's their leading receiver, so they are playing and playing accordingly.
4 wide for Dazzo, 3rd down and 11. And Mike just got it away, had to go to his safety valve. Oh, Gaines shrug off Avery King, which is tough to do. Don't often see that. That only picks up 7, though, and will bring Gaines and the Vultures short of the first down as Thomas Paternitti gets in T-Roy's grill.
Yeah, that was all about pressure on the quarterback, and Dazzo just having to get it out to a safety valve there, and boy, I tell you what, Gaines nearly was able to do it on his own and to break that for a first down, but they'll settle here for a field goal attempt.
Tarkington from 42 yards away, good snap, good hold, and the kick is good for the Vultures. So that only 4 touchdowns in the last 7 games stands for Queen City. Is still no offensive touchdowns for the Vultures tonight.
Yeah, but give it up for Baltimore's offense, able to generate points. The only score coming on an interception by their defense for a touchdown. So a good job by Baltimore in response to the response that the Corsairs had in their last series, being able to get into the end zone. So these two offenses starting to come alive now, not just relying on their defense for points.
3 straight possessions with a score here on Fan Night after this game got off to a pretty slow start. Kalu returns up to the 26, and the playoff implications are everywhere in this game. Of course, the 3 teams, Carolina, Queen City, and Baltimore, all in the East, as is Chicago. Chicago just 2 games back of the division leader, and they're not even in the playoffs as of this moment.
Wow. And look, to me, what stands out, that Mexico City is up for a wild card spot, and Sioux Falls is in the automatic qualifier spot right on. Those 2 teams will meet this weekend in our 800th game, Cam.
And that'll be Saturday at 5 o'clock, and then Las Vegas will follow them against London, who there is just making the graphic there in the hunt in 15th place. But they got a victory against Queen City a couple weeks back, and that certainly was impressive. 4:10 to go after Odom's 4-yard run, 2nd and 6 at the 30. Split backs for Caswell, and Caswell drops back 3 steps. Outside, caught by Kalu for a 4-yard gain, and there's the updated look at the quarterback numbers. Dazzo's interception, not his fault.
Yeah, the bobbled pass that resulted in an interception there, but both of these quarterbacks right now is just starting really to come to life, and we're starting to see signs of them having some kind of consistency through the air.
Odom, nice tackle there made by Bolt. Man, that was really nice. But Ash Odom picks up a first down with 3.5 to go in the second. He's starting to heat up.
Yeah, absolutely, Cam. This is a guy who was fearless here as he busts out to looked like he wanted initially to go between the tackles, but again has the vision to bounce it outside and has the speed to take advantage of all the green that was in front of him. Got the nice conversion there to give them a first down.
3 receivers, 2 to the right. Ball on the right hash for Caswell, and he'll turn and hand off to Odom, and Odom will pick up a few. So, interesting adjustment here, Stephen, by Queen City's rushing offense. They're going more middle and right, more so than outside, after Baltimore showed that they weren't going to give that up tonight.
Yeah, Cam, they're just again, good adjustment to the game plan there is, using that fullback on the previous play to really seal the outside of the defensive line to give Odom an opportunity to get open.
Caswell hoping Hudson turns the corner, and he does. Stopping on a dime. McFly on the tackle, but Hudson picks up a first down to the Vulture 44, and the Corsairs are playing a very good second quarter.
Well, just good field awareness by Hudson there as he understood where he was in relation to the out of bounds there, and able to turn into his defender up the field. So really, these guys are now starting to make plays for Caswell, where maybe in that first quarter, Cam, they were failing him a little bit.
2:15 to go in the first half. 10-7 Baltimore over Queen City, but the Corsairs driving. Caswell, great pocket again, launches one down the field. That was a rocket to Hudson. McFly all over him in the no McFly zone. Incomplete, but a good shot.
Well, Queen City trying to do a little trickery here in the game plan. They actually are lined up in the same formation they normally run to the outside with, Cam. So hoping maybe to bring that defense up a little bit. And then Coswell takes the long shot down the field. But as you mentioned, Baltimore's defense up for the challenge.
Second and 10, just before the 2-minute warning. Curtis almost had a catch. Thornberry deflected it away, and it's 3rd down and 10.
Well, you could ask for a wide open receiver, obviously, but secondary to that, 1-on-1 deep down the field on that corner route, it's about as good as it gets. You're gonna hope that your 50-free receiver in Curtis is able to jump up and beat the defender. So the quarterback here, Caswell, just giving his receiver an opportunity to go up and get the ball. The defender, Thornberry, just made a better play.
2 straight deep balls, 2 straight incompletions. Caswell now on a 3rd and long. Look at the time. Pass is caught, but it's short of the sticks. 2-minute warning from the Crab 35. Vulture 35. Deep breath. What are we going to do? 2 minutes to go.
Let's do.
Somebody's going to have to fire me.
No, nobody's firing you. All the time in the pocket in the world is great. And here, looks like they may try to go for it here on 4th down. Remember that Coswell is a running quarterback. Could try the stick here. Let's see what they do.
4th down and 1 at the 35. 1:57 to go in the first half. 20 on the clock. Honestly, if I'm Queen City, I don't go for this. I'm playing good defense. I haven't given up a defensive touchdown yet, or an offensive touchdown yet. And I think Queen City's doing the smart thing here, even in trying to get Baltimore to jump off sides, because you never know. And we're towards the end of the half anyway.
Yeah, and they're in that 50, 51-yard field goal territory. I don't think they're going to trust Ricky Matthews to make that, although it would tie the ball game, but it would also give Baltimore really good field position. So I think they're going to punt it here and play the field position game, Cam, see if they could pin Baltimore back towards their end zone and let their defense actually try to come up with the ball and get the Corsairs even a little bit closer, if possible, playing some good defense.
Corsairs punted away, and this punt does not have a good shot, as that was down at the 2. That was going to be tough to stop from rolling into the end zone, and the Vultures up 3 have a shot at extending their lead before halftime.
Yeah, speaking of halftime, Cam, we talked about what player would retire at halftime, but honestly, I don't think anybody's played that bad on either team. They've just started really. Their offenses have just really started to play well, and their defenses have been playing well all night.
We are in Buffalo, after all, as Dazzo will throw it over the middle, short, complete, and Doty makes another tackle. That's Malone's just 2nd catch of the night, and Malone has been quiet here in the first half after there was a game or two back in August that he was just lethal.
Yeah, these two offenses again, they're really settling for whatever the defense is giving them, but at some point the score is going to dictate them going and trying some more deep shots.
Avery King puts down gains at the 28-yard line. 3rd and 2 coming up for Baltimore with 1:05 and counting.
If you're Baltimore, Cam, I really think you really like the position that you're in right now. You're up 3 against a tough Queen City Corsairs team at home. I don't think you could want anything more really going into halftime, knowing that you have a lead against the 4-time champions. And although your offense hasn't really got on pace, what you would like to see, only scoring a field goal and the other touchdown coming because of your defense, you still have to like the fact that your defense in Baltimore is playing so well that you're keeping Queen City to 7 points.
Dazzo now going deep, and it's caught by Holder, and now all of a sudden Baltimore says, oh my gosh, we can score, as it looked like they were going to run out the clock. Holder on the outside, down to 15 seconds, but the Vultures also did not burn any timeouts, and now they run it to Gaines. It's like split personalities here for the Vultures, and that's going to take us all the way down to 3 seconds, and Baltimore will send the Hail Mary crew out there, but a little indecision there from Thomas Paternitti.
Yeah, that's a failure in game management there, and I'm sure T-Pat would agree with the same. If you're going to be moving the ball down the field like that, why not use your timeouts and try to get yourself in a position where you can get at least a field goal attempt. Now, we did see here this weekend in the game, Houston and Dallas, where they scored a touchdown on this very play, a Hail Mary in the end zone at halftime, and that really sealed the game for the Hyenas. Let's see what Baltimore can do here.
What a throw from Kentez Johnson. Oh, that's going to be a sack instead as Richie Phillips makes the play. There's no snow out there tonight, so all he did was hit the ground, but great job from Phillips. And that is how the first half will end, a 10-7 advantage for the Baltimore Vultures in a very well-played first half. And our 2K Sports halftime report is next. Look at the stats. Just 8 rushing yards for Baltimore. Queen City not much better. Both teams, though, pretty even in the first half of play, as it's been a war as expected, Steven.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of their Week 3 matchup, Cam. Remember, the final score in that game was Baltimore 17, Queen City 10. And we could see a similar score in this game, just low scoring, really about defense. Both defenses really came prepared to play the offenses and their tendencies. Obviously, Baltimore's defense wanting to stop Queen City's rushing attack, and then Queen City doing the same, but in a little bit of a different way, stopping T-Roy Gaines on all of those screen and swing plays. So both defenses really keyed in, and it really shows in the halftime score.
Who would have thought our 2 touchdowns at the half would be an A.J. Caswell run and a Giovanni Bolt pick 6 with all the star power on the field? That's pretty wild. Doty leads the game with 6 solo tackles. Queen City's got a couple of sacks as well. More stats after the commercial break from our stat man, Scott LaRue, as we take a fuller picture of tonight's ball game. You're watching Fan Night on Twitch TV, and we're back after a word from our sponsors on the SFL Network on Twitch.
APM Music is the official theme music provider of the SFL. Listen to their Champions Will Rise soundtrack at apmmusic.com and visit their all-new esports landing page to find the best highlight music, heroic action, and epic sounds to boost the quality of your esports stream just like us. Log on to forum.apmmusic.com/esports for more information. APM Music, production music library and custom music house.
Show Business Studios can take your dream and make it reality. Any show, anytime, any place. Show Business Studios is limited only by your imagination. Find us at showbusinessstudios.com.
The Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, is also brought to you in part by Show Business Studios. MediaTek Institute. Richards Printworks. ScoreStream. And Spygoat. The beautiful Buffalo, New York. Sun has set. We're ready to start the second half. 10-7. Baltimore on top of Queen City. So welcome you back to Con-Pro Field. A game with monstrous playoff implications, potentially a playoff preview in the Eastern Conference. As from the 9-yard line, Kaz McFly returns up to the 30. If you haven't already seen it, the updated playoff picture has the Vultures and the Corsairs firmly in the mix.
And can we talk a little bit about the Carolina Skyhawks, Cam? It's 7-2. What a great season they're having. Traditionally, a team that doesn't finish above 500, finding unprecedented success. This is really the talk of the league, and obviously the reason why is they sit at 7-2, proving it week in and week out.
Carolina, talk about a tough schedule as Dazzo picks up a first down of Malone. Played Tallahassee this week, and then they have the top 3 teams in their conference not named Carolina on their schedule to finish out the season. Chicago next week, who they've already lost to. Then Queen City in their one and only meeting this season, so that's monstrous for tiebreakers. And then Baltimore to close out the year.
Yeah, sometimes often referred to like the team of destiny in Carolina's, where they destined now to as they come up from the cellar actually to achieve greatness. I don't think they've ever been in kind of playoff talk outside of that comeback season that they had, that one, I can't even remember, was it season 9, season 10? I think it was season 9, but Cam, they just haven't had a lot of experience in the postseason, whereas you have teams like Alaska and Tallahassee that are obviously dominating here in the league, and they have been in the big games at big times. So interesting to watch Carolina as they grow and mature and maybe pull off what some people think might have been impossible just a few weeks ago.
Gaines tackled by Dunkley after a 4-yard pickup will bring up 3rd down and 2 at midfield for the Vultures. You mentioned at the top of the show, Stephen, that these two teams have a combined 9-2 record since they last met. So both have been tearing it up here and moving up, trying to threaten Carolina for that Eastern Conference regular season title as the handoff goes to Gaines on 3rd and short. He's got the first down and more. Gaines protecting the football out to the 40. 10-yard gain for Gaines.
Yeah, and look, Gaines isn't trying to run away from anybody or try to be elusive, as you saw there. Ready to lower the boom on anybody who comes near him. Didn't have to first initially because of a good block right there, but then watch him lower the shoulder. He's ready to give it to Sicario. Sicario able to hold on for dear life and put the big fella down to the ground, but Gaines really looking to punish some people out there. That's just the kind of runner he is.
Dazzo, 18 of 21, 124 yards, no touchdowns and a pick, and Gaines now has 18 yards on 5 carries. He gets another handoff here. Boy, Baltimore coming out and running the ball a lot more here in the 3rd quarter. Gaines picks up nearly another first down. And did you say Feller on that last piece of analysis, Stephen?
I could have said it. Who knows?
He pulled out your butters, and I loved it.
Well, and Gaines and this Baltimore offense is pulling out their run game and really being effective right now. Look at them now line up with 2 tight ends on the left-hand side. Let's see if they're trying to do a little tricky here. And as Dazzo under center calls an audible.
Dazzo fires to Malone, and Malone just does pick up a first down to the 29 as the Vultures continue to mix things up. Malone now 5 catches for 28 yards. Carroll's got 2 for 33, Holder 3 for 27. On the flip side for Queen City, Curtis 3 catches, 24 yards. Hudson 4 for 45, and Melvin Kalu has not caught a ball. Ash Odom 2 receptions for 9 yards rather. Here's another handoff to Gaines, and Gaines is dropped for a loss. Nacho Sicario has been a bit quiet today with the TFL.
Yeah, as a big fella, sometimes what happens if you're a big running back is you get caught behind your blockers. And there, just a situation where Gaines just was held up for an extra half second because he got caught up on the backside of one of his blockers, and that caused him to have that loss of 1.
7:40 to go in the third. Dazzo going to throw it out to Gaines again. Gaines has a blocker, and Gaines is picked up and thrown down by the King. 3rd and 3 at the 22.
But that's exactly what, Baltimore's trying to do earlier in this game. It's been doing it all season, is to get Gaines out on those screen passes. And there he just shows really a good patience to let his blockers make their blocks. But King makes a good individual effort to stop the first down conversion.
Take a look for the Corsairs. Handoff. Gaines got the first down. The 18-yard line, although they weren't sure there at the time, as it took a little while for us to get the word. But Baltimore in the red zone, and again, Stephen, just 4 offensive touchdowns allowed by Queen City in the last 6 games. Still trying to make sure it stays that way.
Yeah, and here's the problem with Baltimore is when you call Gaines' number so much, at some point they're going to have to pull him out of this ball game because of fatigue, and then that's when the backup comes in. Let's see what happens here.
Dazzo picked off at the 5. Frank again. Achilles Frank has Dazzo's number tonight, and Queen City gets a red zone turnover after a 4.5-minute drive will end with nothing.
Well, Cam, again, that's all about Dazzo feeling the pressure. If he holds that ball just a half a second more, then his receiver is wide open in the end zone. But because he felt pressure, he let that pass go early, and Queen City's defenders were all over it.
Now, what can the Corsairs do with it with 6:36 to go in the third, down 3 at home? Hand off to Odom, and Odom picks up 2. Now 31 yards on 13 carries, been held in check by this Baltimore defense tonight.
Well, Michael Wall there, the big fella, able to penetrate into the backfield and then grab a hold of Odom and just ride him. That guy's 318 pounds, so, even Odom had to succumb at some point.
Odom coming into the night only trailing Jaye Inyola at the top of the running leaderboards. Odom gets they said he was short at the 16-yard line. Tough call there. Odom averaging 6.3 yards a carry with 1,553 yards coming into the game. Also, his 14 rushing touchdowns, 3rd best in the league behind Colin Hart and Inyola.
Yeah, you got to hate that as a defense. You get Odom stopped behind the first down marker, and then one of your own defenders helps push him towards the first down marker.
Caswell going to throw on 3rd and inches and go deep, and Caswell way too deep. Way overthrew his intended receiver and put that ball in dangerous territory. Very interesting play call for Queen City, and they do nothing with the pick.
Well, I actually think that it was Hudson Cam that came up short. I think he was grabbing his hamstring a little bit. Maybe we're seeing some cramps here as the game wears on, but to me, it was Hudson who was kind of limping to the spot where the ball was supposed to be. That's why you saw 2 defenders standing right where, and luckily that it didn't get picked off, but right where Caswell threw it. I think it was Hudson that was falling behind.
We'll keep an eye on Hudson's health as McFly will have some space to return. That gap closes at the Corsair 48-yard line with 5:24 to go in the third quarter. Let's pause for a word from the SFL.
Follow the SFL on Twitter @SimulationFL, on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels. You're already here, right? Might as well stay tuned. Get league updates on your phone while browsing the internet, and make sure you never miss a live broadcast. Thank you for supporting the SFL.
Out to Gaines, he picks up 8 yards. T-Roy is racking up the touches here tonight. Gaines now has 9 receptions and 8 carries, so 17 total touches for 68 yards tonight.
Yeah, that'd be his 68th reception on the season, by and far the number one receiver as a running back out of the backfield.
2nd down and 2 at the 40. And Dazzo again hits gains for a first down past the 35 and into scoring position.
Well, obviously you see why Baltimore likes to throw to him as a receiver. Very effective and be able to get those yards, really eats them up with surprising speed for a guy that's 6'2", 240. The rookie is really speedy as receivers, got sure hands, probably the surest hands of any running back here in the SFL. So they like to utilize him in a lot of different ways.
1st and 10 at the 34, 4:38 to go, third quarter. Vultures up 3. Dazzo going deep, and it's knocked away by Jenkins, and they're nearly intercepted by Sicario. Shea Carroll was the intended receiver, but more stellar play from Queen City's secondary.
Yeah, if you're Dazzo, you probably wish you would have thrown that ball just a little further out, as you got to believe that Shea Carroll, in that one-on-one situation, is going to be able to gather that a little bit amount of separation there at the end zone, but just didn't give Carroll enough room to outrun the defender. And there you see the tip pass that nearly was intercepted.
2nd down and 10 at the 34. 2 backs and 2 receivers as Dazzo's going to be sacked outside of field goal range, a loss of 4, sacked by Tommy Smith.
And that's huge. And look, you kind of want to put it on Dazzo a little bit to say, hey, get that ball away. You know you're near field goal range. Don't take this sack. But really, coming from his blind side and on that short drop back, he just had zero opportunity to get away from it. Had to eat that sack, and now on their own 38-yard line, just looking to get back in the scoring range.
4 receivers for Dazzo, as Dazzo will throw deep middle, caught in between 2 defenders. A perfect pass from Mike Dazzo to Daley Holder down to the Queen City 16-yard line.
Look, and this is a guy in Daley Holder that was a top receiver in this league last year, had to accept a 3rd wide receiver role on the depth chart, but comes up big here with the pass down the middle, able to concentrate in all of that traffic, and, of course, the perfect dime by Dazzo, who's done it so many times before.
1st down at the 16. Just a few minutes ago, Baltimore's in the red zone and had a turnover. That pass is caught in double coverage by Carroll, who's stepping up to the 5. Dunkley and Frank there for the stop, and Frank almost had a hat trick.
Well, Baltimore lines up with that trips left, right, trying to get those receivers gathered up and get those defenders gathered up and maybe confuse them. But Carroll just does a straight go route and does a great job of leaping in front of the defenders to catch that pass.
Dazzo now 24 of 29, and on 1st and goal from the 5, he'll fire it short of the end zone, and a monstrous hit, but holding on to it was Malone. King on the tackle. 2nd and goal from the 2, and Dazzo is now 25 of, actually it's 25 of 32.
Well, they call him Money Malone for a reason. When you need a big play, you go to big money, and he grabs that ball and able to hold on to it despite the fact the defenders were bearing down right on top of him. Takes a big hit but holds on.
Goal line D. Dazzo on 2nd and goal from the 2. Fires it almost intercepted. That could have been a pick 6 that changed the game. Oscar Dunkley at the goal line, 3rd down.
Woo, it's a dangerous man to throw to. Dunkley with 8 interceptions on the season. Actually, I thought that the Vultures had an opportunity once again to go to Gaines on that play for the easy touchdown. Dazzo makes a split-second decision to throw it towards the end zone, nearly pays the price.
Trips left, 3rd and goal at the 2 for Dazzo. Going to throw it again, and Dazzo, far bounce, dropped, and nearly bounced, still loose. It's picked off the ankles of a defender. Unbelievable play in the end zone for Queen City, a top play of the year candidate.
Wow, the touchdown passes do not come any easier than that, Cam. But I think the defender was out of bounds when the ball bounced on the back of his legs. I don't think that's an interception. I think that's an incomplete pass, and it's a shame we don't get a challenge here because I really believe that Queen City defender was laying out of bounds when the ball hit him. That should be an incomplete pass.
The ball sitting on Dunkley's ankles, and actually in the excitement, missed who got the pick, because I had to see that again. And Caswell and the Corsairs desperately trying to take advantage, breaking a tackle and then sacked in the backfield for a loss of a yard. Somebody give us a boring 2-yard run.
Well, that's why they teach you in middle school and high school and even in, smaller leagues, you never give up on a play. And that defender there, number 70, Butler, able to really push and push and push and finally get on top of Caswell. But that's why you never give up as a defender.
8 in the box, and Odom is shut down. Wall with his second tackle. Loss of 2, 3rd down and 13, and the Corsairs offense has done squat. Actually 6 yards on 5 plays here in the third quarter.
And, I'm still reeling, Cam, over that interception. I don't think was an interception, but clearly great athleticism, and really the ball bounced their way. But I just think that guy was laying out of bounds.
Empty backfield, 3rd and 13 for Caswell. Caswell, deep ball, knocked away by Thornberry. And, Steven, we all know about chances in the SFL. You only get a few chances a game, and Queen City has just thrown 2 away, getting back-to-back 3-and-outs off of interceptions. And the Vultures, I still think, have a ton of momentum, but Malone, if he would have just caught that ball, the Vultures would be up by 10 and getting the ball back.
They would. And give credit to Baltimore's defense to do a 3-and-out right there in a situation where the momentum starts to again turn towards the Corsairs. Whoa, what a big hit right there.
McFly got whacked.
But like you mentioned, it all comes back to Garrett Malone not being able to reel in one of the easiest lob passes in the end zone we've seen so far this season. And when he bobbled that, there were 3 Queen City defenders right behind him. And I just think they got a bad call, but it all started with Malone and that bobble.
1st and 10 at the 47. Dazzo drops to throw, and Dazzo will fire it short to Malone. 4-yard pickup to the 49. 1:15 to go in the third. Despite everything that's happened, we still have the same score.
And Baltimore still in Queen City territory because of the great job their defense did. Don't think that defense wasn't upset by the play that happened on offense. Felt like they got robbed of at least another opportunity to get a touchdown. So great job by them, and let's see if the offense can continue rolling.
Dazzo outside, caught by Carroll, 1st down, and I love what Baltimore did the previous play, throwing that little short route to Malone, trying to get his confidence back.
Yeah, and that's been wide open for Malone all game, that little short inside slant. But it's only been good for 4 or 5 yard gains, but probably doing wonders for his confidence after that bobble.
1st and 10 to the Corsair 42. We've been living on the left side of the field in this quarter. Dazzo empty backfield, calling an audible to throw. And Dazzo's going deep down the near side. Caught by Malone! And T-Pat called it in the chat, saying that Malone would get his redemption as he's all the way down to the 1-yard line.
Well, the Queen City's defense in a dime formation, expecting the pass, still not able to keep up with Malone here as he bypasses number 42, Dunkley. And just a great pass by Dazzo to drop it into his receiver. Nearly gets in the end zone. But now, here's the question, Cam. As we go into the fourth quarter, is can they poke it in?
We'll find out. End of the third, 10-7. This is the SFL's Fan Night presented by APM Music, and we keep it right here for the exciting conclusion of the Week 10 Game of the Week.
If I'm Baltimore, boy, we haven't called T. Roy Gaines' number yet on this offensive series. This might be the play to do it.
1st and goal from the 1. Queen City down 3 points at a premium tonight. And Dazzo is sacked, a 5-yard loss. Both defenses coming up clutch.
Yeah, let me tell you what, Cam. The Queen City Corsairs secondary and linebackers had perfect coverage there. Opportunity maybe to get it out to Gaines for one of those swing passes, but they had an outside defender that was covering both the receiver and the running back. Totally shut down any passing lanes for Dazzo.
Look at the space at the top of the screen for Malone to operate. 2nd and goal from the 6. They're going to hand it off to Gaines. And Gaines shut down by Duffy. His 2nd tackle, only a gain of 1. 3rd and goal coming up again for Baltimore.
Well, there's that 1-yard gain you could have used on the previous play to get in the end zone.
That's true.
Instead, use it here when you're, a good 5 yards back. So, now they're going to be forced into a passing play here on 3rd down.
Red zone woes for the Vultures. 3rd and goal from the 5 for Dazzo. Dazzo gonna throw near side, back in the end zone. Oh, they said it was a touchdown. I don't agree with it, but right now it's a touchdown for the Vultures.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a makeup call here by the refs, Cam. If they said he got both feet in, we'll have to look at the replay, but very close. Obviously, if they take this to a challenge, it's got to be enough evidence to overturn it there and overturn the call on the field. Doesn't look like they're going to challenge here, so that's going to count. Again, maybe a little bit of a makeup call, but certainly the Vultures offense on the last 2 series have shown they can move the ball against Queen City at home. And here in the 4th quarter, that's huge.
I got to say, that was a lot closer than I originally thought. Looked like he definitely didn't get any feet in, but he certainly got at least one there on that replay as the Vultures finally get an offensive touchdown against Queen City, which is so hard to do. And Queen City now trails by 10 at home, which could send the Eastern Conference into a tizzy. Queen City has a chance to take the lead in the Eastern Conference, go up by a half a game over Carolina with a victory tonight, since Queen City still has not had their bye, and obviously break away from Chicago and Baltimore in the process. But as of this moment, it would appear like the Vultures are in the driver's seat to get within 1 game of the division lead, and certainly put Queen City right in their line of sight, with the Corsairs only a half a game ahead, losing the season series to Baltimore. Now here's a handoff to Odom. Queen City not done yet. Odom picks up 3, and they're going to need to stay patient. They're down just 2 scores.
Well, Cam, they're 4-time champs for a reason. They win games like this. They are not a team normally that's going to blow you out. They are a team that will grind you out, and in close games, they figure out ways to win where other teams don't. That's what makes them who they are. So in this situation, this is a Tom Brady, New England Patriots type team that has a veteran under center that can do some special things like that right there.
Like that to midfield. Chris Curtis picks up 23. First down, Queen City.
Yeah, and this Chris Curtis, their top really wide receiver threat in the receiver corps, and shows you right there why. That excellent 4-3 speed to get enough separation from the defender on that post route to make it an easy pass for Caswell.
9 minutes left, still all the time in the world for the Corsairs. Caswell, again, great protection. Curtis picks up 9. That's the one advantage Queen City's had all night. Their pass protection has been outstanding.
Well, Caswell has the stones to stay tough in the pocket. He's got nerves of steel and guts to match. This guy will stay in there and deliver a perfect ball if you allow him to. That's why it's so critical for Baltimore's defense to start getting pressure on him once again, so he may start to, early throw some of those passes.
Hand off, Odom! Won't get there. Knee goes down right at the line. Kate on the stop, and it was the last time we heard Joe Dazzo or Amon Take's names. They've been pretty quiet in the second half, but Queen City hasn't been on the field too much.
Yeah, maybe not having to do as much because they have, other defenders have stepped up and really handled Odom. But be for sure, they are, involved in some of these plays, maybe just not getting to the tackle before another one does.
Odom brought down to the backfield. Amon takes right on cue as Baltimore keeps stacking the box, and it has been effective tonight, and that is a huge blow for the Corsairs.
And that is the reason why you pick him number 2 overall in the draft, is on a play just like that. One of the most lethal running backs in the SFL for years, right? And he is able to hold on by the shoestring to bring him down on a critical 3rd down play and making this punt possible. That could have sealed the game for Baltimore when we look back.
Another punt that had no chance into the end zone. We're 7 yards too late. Ball out to the 27-21. Left to go in the 4th quarter, and Mike Dazzo has a chance to put this away and keep the Carolina Skyhawks on top of the division. Baltimore would then win the season series over the Corsairs and have a chance to even it with Carolina in Week 13. 7:21 left in the fourth quarter. Split backs for Dazzo, and Dazzo's going to throw. Dazzo going down the middle and wide open. That's a first down to the 30. Perfect throw to the tight end at number 86, Edward Morgan, with the reception for 10.
We've seen the Vultures offense really make a lot of adjustments during this game. Early on, it was really T. Roy Gaines heavy in this game, whether through the air or on the ground. But as we've seen them develop, they've had more success through the air with their wide receivers, Cam. I expect that to continue until they want to start grinding that clock down.
Dazzo picked at the 50-yard line, returned by Sicario, all the way up to the Baltimore 35, near scoring position, and Mike Dazzo in one-on-one coverage throws up a ball that had too much loft.
Yeah, just a little bit there. You know, see what happens on that play actually, Cam, is Carroll is on a fade route and gets hit midway through that route, really stumbling his route. That could have been possible pass interference there because that was beyond the 5-yard mark, but doesn't get called. That causes Carroll to be late to that pass and giving it wide open opportunity to Sicario to pick it off.
Eric JDWA with the 300 bits. Appreciate that. Odom breaking a tackle. Odom breaking another one before Takes puts him down. 6-yard gain as Queen City's starting to feel some momentum here in the fourth.
Well, if I am Baltimore, I am looking at Amon Takes and saying, you shadow Odom. Where he goes, you go. And clearly there, he was actually the third defender to get to him. Odom starting to run on a little bit more power right now. That could be dangerous for Baltimore.
Again, just a single high safety for Baltimore, and Queen City continues to try to pound it into the box. Only a 1-yard pickup. Takes again on the stop, and boy, I'm never going to say he's having a quiet night again, because since then he's had about 4 tackles.
Yeah, he clearly has his eye on Odom. And here we go, another critical third down for Queen City. They got stopped by this, by Takes and this Odom matchup. Let's see if they go to it again.
Can't take a sack. 3rd down and 3 again. 8 in the box for Baltimore. Going to hand it off to Odom, running left. And Odom is dropped for 2 yards. And Queen City continues to try and hammer this outside running game. And Baltimore's saying, I can watch film too. And that brings out Matthews for a lengthy field goal.
Well, McFly got the tackle, but the first guy to hit Odom was Takes. It has just been Takes and Odom going head-to-head, and the rookie has been winning the matchup so far, forcing this field goal attempt.
McFly on the last tackle, 47-yard pickup 47-yard field goal for Matthews. Good snap, good hold, left-footed kicker down to make it a 1-score game. Good! Had just enough on that kick as it took a while to get there, but Queen City, thanks to Sicario's interception, has made this a 1-possession game down the stretch. And look, Steven, it's the exact same score as the first time these two teams played.
Yeah, very reminiscent, right? We said that at halftime, but look, that was a great kick by Matthews. Let's not forget that the Queen City had an opportunity to kick a 51-yarder. They said, nah, no thanks, when it comes to putting that kind of pressure on Matthews. So to nail a 46-yarder here at midway through the fourth is big for that young man.
From the 10 on the return, McFly rather, all the way to the 35-yard line. 4:54 to go. Really nice return there from McFly. And it's up to the Corsair defense one more time. They've been pretty good tonight. They need a stop.
And that's, they got the interception on the last series because Baltimore is continuing to look deep into these receivers because they've had so much success in the second half doing it. I'm not sure they should just go to Gaines and just try to run as much time as they can right now off this clock.
Hand off to Gaines, and only got a couple, but does keep the clock running. 4:45 and counting.
Yeah, if they can try to get this even to the 2-minute warning, I think that bodes well for them, as the Corsairs have not been able to get into the end zone this entire second half. So their defense is playing really well. Why not just eat up as much clock as you can? If you get a first down, even better.
High formation. Malone, bottom of the screen, and Baltimore eating away some clock. Handoff gains again. Look at Queen City. They're all over it. Just daring Dazzo to pass again as that's a loss of 1 that brings up a 3rd down and 9. They were everywhere.
Well, they know what Baltimore wants to do right now. And that allows this defense to pin their ears back and come after the running back. But it looks like Baltimore here on 3rd and 9, they may go through the air.
They want to put it away. Dazzo 350 and counting. Ball at their own 35-yard line. 3-2 defense and press coverage on the outside. Dazzo going to throw it quickly and into traffic, incomplete. Was looking for Malone, and Queen City was all over it. Great defense forces a punt.
Well, that's what happens when you focus too much on a certain player. I think Dazzo was looking Malone's way no matter what. He wanted to go to his money receiver who's made some big plays for him, and it just wasn't the right call. There were other receivers open, particularly Holder that was right there in that same vicinity, but Dazzo just really focused in on Money Malone and threw it into a good amount of coverage.
Fair catch called for at the 30 by Kalou. So now you have to think, Stephen, with 3:36 to go in the 4th, this game rests on A.J. Caswell. Odom has had maybe one run of over 10 yards here tonight. 21 carries, 43 yards. Just nothing open at all. Curtis 5 for 54, Hudson 4 for 45. Either are good options.
Well, Odom, 21 carries, 39 yards rushing. That's an average of 1.9 yards per carry. Not sure they're going to look his way much here trying to get in the end zone.
Caswell out to Curtis. They said he wasn't out of bounds. And Queen City running no huddle here with 3.5 to go. That's a little surprising. Although they feel like they got a good look here. Trips right. Caswell in a bit of trouble for the first time tonight. Hit as he threw, but a perfect pass out to Hudson. Hudson is going to be shoved out of bounds at the 47 for a Corsair first down. Heck of a throw from Caswell as his line of sight was getting cloudy.
Boy, you aren't kidding. He took a hit in that pocket, but able to really stand tall in there and deliver a nice ball despite the fact he was getting punctured in the abdomen.
Caswell now 17 of 25, 159. Dazzo 30 for 43, 249 yards, touchdown, but 4 interceptions, yet the Vultures still have the lead. Back to pass, Caswell, 3-step drop, fires it over the middle, caught, first down, to the Baltimore 42-yard line. 3 straight completions for Caswell as that pass is caught by Brian Seek.
Yeah, I actually think Caswell had his choice of receivers to go through there as that call was an all slant, so all the 4 receivers slanted towards the middle of the field. And I think all 4 were open as Baltimore was in a zone defense, and it just really caught the defense in an awkward position.
They're going to hand it off to Odom. Odom breaks a tackle. Ash Odom out of the 36-yard line. Great change of pace there as they try to slow things down just a bit. A gain of 7 to the Vulture 36-yard line.
Well, one thing we don't often touch on in these situations is the wide receivers get tired. They get tired of running back and forth down the field, so throwing in a run there in the middle of this series gives them an opportunity to maybe get a little of that fatigue up.
Caswell to throw again, outside, caught by Curtis, short of the first down. What a tackle by Tony Willis. Curtis's 7th reception, but it keeps Curtis from getting a first down.
Yeah, 3rd and inches here. I think you're in 4-down territory. You're at Baltimore's 33. You're out of field goal range or right on the edge of it. So let's see what happens here after the 2-minute warning.
Trying to get a play in before the 2-minute warning. Queen City cannot. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Fan Night on the SFL Network on Twitch TV.
Yeah, honestly, Cam, I'm thinking about it. A field goal does them no good here. They need to get in the end zone and probably want to tie it, or at least get an opportunity for a 2-point opportunity. So let's see here at 3rd and inches.
This is where Baltimore's won the game. 8 in the box. Odom has done nothing. They're going to hand it off to him running left, and Odom is put down. Why? It's almost like it's better for Queen City if they're not in 3rd and short. Now it's 4th down, and this is the ball game.
Well, in most situations, Cam, Ash Odom against one single defender,
right.
You usually give Odom the advantage there, but not against Damon Takes, who's been all over him tonight. and it came once again to that one-on-one battle, and takes him down.
Here we go again. Willison takes her to the bottom of your screen there, and Caswell's going to throw. Caswell cut! Oh, bring in a tackle! Curtis is going to score! What an adjustment by Queen City! They faked out everybody, and we're one extra point away from a tie.
They looked like they were going to run that ball again to Odom. Instead, they go with the slant route to Curtis, and Curtis is able to get the ball, and the defender's plays too far in. Goes for the ball instead of the tackle. Curtis grabs it in front of him, and just an easy run into the end zone. Bad defensive mistake by Baltimore. That defender should have played the tackle, not played the ball.
Wow, Curtis, that was one of the most surprising play calls I can remember in a long time. It looked like they were going to try Odom again, running left. They've done it so much tonight with so little success, and they switched it up, man. Right at the right time, they got aggressive, and it paid off, and we're all tied up. Gotta love it, man. That's SFL, baby, at its finest. (17-17). Wow. From the 6-yard line. McFly on the return. Won't reach the 30. And Frank gets another tackle. He's got 5 and 2 picks.
Well, now for Baltimore, what you have to do is really overcome the noise of the crowd, what you just saw on the field, and all this momentum that suddenly has shifted Queen City's way. And you need to really regather yourself and do what you've shown in the second half. You have the ability to move a ball against this defense. You just need to get in the field goal range.
10 unanswered points by Queen City. Dazzo going long to Malone. It's knocked away. Oscar Dunkley. How many times, Steven, have we seen that in the past? He is a shutdown corner.
And boy, let me tell you what, able to really, with just his fingertips, give everything that he's got to tap that ball away. And it looked like Malone, he had a good 2 or 3 steps on Dunkley, and Dunkley was able to make that up with a leap right there at the end. Boy, possibly a game-saving defensive play.
Laying out for it now, 2nd down and 10. Dazzo going deep again, down the middle, caught, getting speared by Frank at the 49-yard line, but Daley Holder makes it happen.
Let's not forget, Daley Holder was a #1 wide receiver in this league for many seasons, and he's been making plays like this for years. So not surprising he comes up big there in an ocean of black jerseys, able to rise up and pluck that ball out of the air.
I counted 7 different Corsairs on the screen there, and Dazzo put it in between everybody. Now about 16 yards away from Tarkington's range at the 49-yard line with plenty of time left. Dazzo, he got popped, and the pass is caught by Holder into field goal range. Dazzo, wow, man, that was unbelievable.
And the clock continues to run as they are now in field goal range. They have Shark Tarkington as their kicker, 9 of 11 prior to this game. Field goal percentage 82%. I would just run the ball here, but they're going to continue to pass.
Dazzo outside, caught by Malone at the 24-yard line, making it more manageable. And I'm with you at this point, Steven. Call off the dogs, man. It's a 40-yard field goal. Tarkington can do that in his sleep.
Well, I'm surprised. You're surprised. I think the Queen City Corsairs defense is surprised at how Baltimore's just been going deep downfield on this series.
Not playing
Now's
around.
the time to play. Yeah, now's the time to be conservative, though.
And they will. Hand off to Gaines. Gaines breaks a tackle and got the first down. A game-changing first down as the Corsairs have to burn their second timeout.
There's a jock on the field, and his name, and the name on the jock is Leroy Jenkins, because he just got killed out there on the field, knocked out of his jock. And, boy, what a powerful play. You know, T. Roy Gaines has got all this speed, but sometimes he reminds you That's a powerful 240-pound dude.
39-yard field goal gains. Won't get anything more, and now Queen City, they got no choice. Burns another timeout, but this is going to come down to the foot of Shark Tarkington, and Baltimore has a chance to go to 6-3 and shake up the East.
And Tarkington, you know, hit his one field goal attempt on the night, has 2 extra points, but certainly no guarantee, as he has missed 2 field goals this season. But you've got to feel like this close as you get possibly even closer here as he stopped at the line of scrimmage. And they're calling a no huddle for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the thought process is here. They definitely should not snap the ball before 40 seconds. 3rd and 11 from the 40, and they will.
Goodness.
And they're going to throw it out to Gates. Is he going to get out of bounds? No, he stayed in bounds. What a critical play. And because they threw it and took more time off the clock, they do not have to give Queen City the ball back. That was a crazy series. I thought he was going out.
Well, time management's been an issue for Baltimore. We saw it in the first half and how they really didn't set themselves up to get any type of field goal. And here, I think they bring the field goal guys out too early, and they're set up already with 10 seconds to go. They just need to wait.
This is it. 6 seconds to go. This is a 38-yard field goal. Baltimore does wait, and then Baltimore calls a timeout with 3 seconds to go.
Okay.
Almost to sort of reset,
all right.
but
okay. Okay. I mean, look, most of the time what you do is you bring out your quarterback, and then they call that timeout. But I guess if you it kind of feels like you're icing your own kicker at this point by bringing the entire special teams group out and just having them sit there. I'm not sure what the thinking was behind that, but still, 3 seconds left of the game. We've seen a field goal go in 2 seconds, Kev, because this possibly could leave time.
This will win it. More than likely from 38 yards away. Good snap, good hold, no block, and Tarkington wins the game for Baltimore. They go to 6-3 on a game-winning field goal. Send the Corsairs to 7-3 and send the Eastern Conference into a tizzy.
Well, give a lot of credit to Baltimore's offense, particularly their passing offense. Really came alive here in the second half. And the kid, Shark Tarkington, the rookie, undrafted, comes in and hits a game-winning field goal. But what is the great game for Baltimore to come in to Queen City and win like they never have before and pull out a solid victory.
Look at the numbers. Baltimore wins despite -3 in the turnover category and still only got 1 offensive touchdown. That is now 7 games in a row that Queen City has not given up more than 1. As you take a look at the second half highlights, Takes ends up with 10 solo tackles to lead all players. And I tell you what, Steven, as we get another look at it, I mean, it definitely obviously should have been an incomplete pass, but still, wow. I mean, what a ball game, and I think we all knew that Baltimore was for real coming in, but now we really know it as they sweep the Queen City Corsairs, get within a half a game of the Corsairs, who, remember, have a bye, I believe, the last week of the season, which means they could watch their playoff seeding get worse heading into the playoffs. Unbelievable.
Well, let's give a lot of credit to this Baltimore defense, right? You hold Queen City to 17 points. You hold the #1 rushing offense in the league that averages nearly 200 yards on the ground per game. You hold them to 48 yards. You hold Odom to 44 yards rushing on the ground. Terrific defensive effort here tonight by the Vultures. You got to give them a lot of credit. They came with a certain game plan in mind, and let's give a lot of credit to Amon Takes, the rookie linebacker, who was all over Odom in the second half and really didn't give Odom an opportunity to take over late in games like he's done so many times before.
Curtis pants his bolt there on that touchdown celebration, but he ended up being the one that got pants tonight as Queen City falls to 7-3, and Carolina, for the moment, keeps their division lead at 7-2, but it is getting really tight in the East. Now Chicago, who plays Carolina, as you look at Dazzo, the player of the game, 34-44, But now Carolina, who has Chicago next week, Chicago has a chance to sweep the team leading the division, and the Wildcats, with Baltimore winning tonight, have kept themselves in the conversation of let me gather my thoughts here as we try to get things reset, but Chicago has kept themselves in the division winning conversation, down just 2 games with 3 to go and with a chance to get the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Skyhawks.
Well, how many times, Cam, during an SFL season we've seen teams that have struggled during the first part of the season really begin to find themselves at the right time. Certainly Queen City is a team for many seasons who seem to have struggled at first and then just get hot at the right time at the end of the season in the playoffs. Chicago showing signs early that they were really discombobulated. They really didn't have an identity, still trying to figure out who they were, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. And now we start to see some new faces, some new names, starting to really gather chemistry with the older veterans, and it's starting to work, and they're starting to get hot at the right time.
And Stephen, all 3 conferences have wild playoff races. It's a 4-team race in the East, with the first and the 4th teams separated by just 2 games. In the South, it's New Orleans 5-4, Houston 5-4, Atlanta 5-5, and Tulsa 4-6. 4 teams separated by a game and a half. And then in the West, you've got Las Vegas 5-4, Sioux Falls 6-3, Mexico City 5-4. 3 teams in the West all battling for an automatic playoff spot. Does it get any better than this, Stephen, with 3 weeks to go?
Only if Dallas was involved. Other than that, it is, yeah, you're right. Great SFL action across the board. And look, there are only 3 games left in this regular season and a lot to still be decided. So we're going to see some of the best SFL football that we've seen yet in these 3 games in preparation for the playoffs, or teams even just striving to make them.
For Scott LaRue on stats and Stephen Mullinex as our analyst, I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, and we'll see you Saturday for the 800th game on Twitch. Good night, everybody.
Wait, goodbye, Cam.